regrets. Rob, it looks like, eh?
I believe Rob, yes, he did indicate that he was not able to come.
Okay. All right, just let me know when you're ready and we'll get her going here.
We're now live on YouTube.
All right, thank you very much. Well, welcome everybody and thank you for making time for this special council meeting, Thursday, July Thursday, July 29th, 2021. I'm just going to declare the meeting open. The first thing is the approval of the agenda. Late items, Hope?
Yes, there's one late item that was circulated quite recently. I apologize
Yeah,
for the
it's
lateness.
okay.
And it's just a motion for a letter of support to be sent for the BCC's application to the Universal Childcare $10 a day program.
Okay.
So we believe that application closes at the end of August. So they'd like that a letter of support.
Where do you want to put that under new business, I guess, eh?
Yes, we can put that under new business just before moving to a closed. So
Okay, 4.2 then, and we'll change the closed to 4.3. Is that okay?
Yeah.
right, thank you.
All right, so I'll move. Does anybody have a problem with anything on the agenda as amended?
Nope.
All right, that's great. We'll approve the agenda by consensus. We'll move on to public comments. So how many have we got?
None today.
None today. Okay, thank you very much. And then we'll move right into bylaws. And item 3.1 is use of public places bylaw number 537, 2021, and bylaw notice enforcement bylaw number 196, 2008 amendment bylaw number 538, 2021. Bonny Brokenshire, welcome, Bonny. Manager of Environment and Parks Planning and Interim Manager of Bylaw Services.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. So I have amended the bylaws as per the discussion at Monday's meeting. And the bylaws before you today are being put forward for final adoption. I don't know if, Mayor, I don't have anything else to add.
No, that's fine. Do you have the actual amendment that you made, Bonny?
Yeah, so what I did do is I adjusted the definitions of both organized activity and organized sport and made it a little less restrictive in that the portion of a public place was removed, and it just states now, I can read the definitions as written in the bylaw. So organized activity means an activity which is pre-planned, involves a group larger than 20 people, and which limits general public access to a public place. Before it used to be a portion of. An organized sport means game or exercise activity, including yoga, which is carried out for 10 or more persons on a regular basis and limits general public access to a public place. I also amended, as per the discussion, section 3.2a. So I did remove the formal or informal gathering, as that was confusing, and it wasn't the intent of the bylaw to restrict activities such as picnicking. But to make it clear and a little less restrictive and to keep in line with the organized activity and organized sport definition as well, there has been one phrase which was suggested during the discussion. So I'll read as amended. I'll read section 3.2a. So
thank you.
It now reads, perform or take part in any procession, march, drill, performance, ceremony, concert, meeting, or assembly of over 20 persons that limits general public access to a public place, except for Indigenous cultural ceremony, including any Indigenous-led ritual, gathering, tradition, or other similar activity. So if these activities, such as processions, marches, or drills, like let's say a wedding or something of that sort, if it is going to also limit general public access, then it will require a permit.
All right, thanks, Bonny. Thank you very much for those. And okay, does anybody have any questions on those clarifications that we talked about the last time?
I do.
Just looking for hands. Okay, go ahead, Allison.
Bonnie, so what did you insert?
I inserted that limits,
Okay.
I inserted that limits general public access.
Okay, so the 20 persons was there before.
The 20 persons was there before.
Okay, okay. But you didn't put that limits public access in 3.2B.
No, I didn't, because organized activity and organized sport
Are defined.
are already
Right,
defined.
right. Okay, fine. Yeah, got you.
Okay, anybody else? I'm having a little problem with hands. Okay, Maureen? Yeah.
It's a question regarding the schedules and their relationship to the bylaw, Bonny. I was asked a question regarding the discretionary point that's made at the end of the schedule. I was satisfied at the council meeting with the explanation that you gave of how that would be exercised, and I still am satisfied. But if in the course of the CEO exercising his discretion, he found that it would be useful to stipulate some criteria in the schedule, can the schedule be amended separately from the bylaw, or are they of a piece?
We added, yes, it can, because we added some language that would allow for that. I believe in one of the amendments.
Yes.
I can't remember if it was after first or second reading.
Yeah, I think it was at second reading that we made it clear that as this bylaw was put into force, that there may be some adjustments made to the fees and procedures mentioned. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's Sue
thanks.
Ellen here. It's
Sue Ellen?
in 8.1. It says fee schedule generally in both the form as attached, but amended from time to time by the departmental manager. And that was Schedule A. Yeah, anyway, it's 8.1.
Thanks again.
Okay, thanks, Sue Ellen. Anybody else? Okay, I'll do a sweep here. I got nobody, so I will read the recommendation is that bylaw number 537, 2021, cited as Bowen Island Municipality Use of Public Places bylaw number 537, 2021, and bylaw number 538, 2021, cited as the Bowen Island Municipality bylaw notice enforcement bylaw number 1962008, amendment bylaw number 538, 2021, be reconsidered and finally adopted. I will move that. Looking for a second.
Second.
Okay, thank you, David. And any further discussion? Okay, I see no hands. I'll ask the question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Did you get them all there? Hope?
Yes.
Okay,
you.
thanks. I sort of have to sweep on here because I'm in, maybe I'll go that way. Okay, that'll be a little bit better. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much for that, everybody. And we'll move on to new business. So 4.1 is the authorization to apply for funding through the BC Active Transportation Infrastructure Grant Program. And that's over to Patrick. Thanks, Patrick. Good day.
Hi. So this is a grant program that was that we found out about fairly recently. It can fund up to $500,000 for construction of transportation infrastructure. And it's also got a part of the program that funds network planning, which does also include detailed design. So what we're requesting that council approve is submitting for the network planning grant to cover the 50% of the design costs for the next section past Artisan Lane up to Grafton Lake. And we've made the assumption, we're still looking at the overall plan and the water line route for the purposes of submitting for the grant, we've made the assumption that we'd be building a path along Grafton Road. We've gotten a fee proposal from ISL for the design for that component. We could change course within the terms of the grant if we end up deciding that the waterline route is a better option. But we're recommending that we at least, we don't have unfortunately, a construction project that's ready to go, but there seems to be a lot of these grants that active transportation projects are eligible for. So if we can get the next pieces designed, we'll be in a position to submit for construction grant money the next time it comes around.
That'd be great. Thank you, Patrick. Allison, I see your hand up. David, next year, there you go.
In your verbal presentation, you just said planning grant. The document says preparation of tender documents, the motion. And I guess my other question is, they only fund 50% of the planning?
Yeah.
And it's such a precise number, $35,144. So how did you come up with that number?
It's just based on the fee proposal that we've received from ISL.
So
Yes.
ISL has given us a proposal for the planning for the whole thing?
No,
that
for
distance?
design of
Well, design and
partisan-
planning, the same thing to me. Okay, so so if it's a planning grant option, why are we just getting the design rather than not detailed drawings?
that is what
That
we
is
did.
detailed plans.
Detailed drawings. So essentially detailed design. We've already got a review of the overall plan underway. That work's already underway. What we haven't started yet is preparing the detailed design and tender documents for the next section. So that's what we're submitting.
And will the detailed design include preliminary costing?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Because I can't fathom that we're going to be able to afford the whole distance.
And once,
Well,
Unless we get a huge number of grants.
yeah, this is strictly to complete the design for
Okay,
the
and then-
next section up to Artisan Lake, and there might be, and then we'll have that design and the related cost estimates, and when the next grant opportunity comes along, maybe we submit for a piece of that. Yeah. You're right. It's probably beyond what the grants, a single grant would fund. But we'll have that information at least.
I guess my concern was by having the tender documents in there was an implication that we were going to go out for tender for the whole package without considering the cost. My other question has to do with, you mentioned we're doing the design on the basis of it being on Grafton Road, not down on the water line. So why, if it's for planning and design, why are we not rolling in the cost of comparing the two options in the grant application?
Well, we're only going to do detailed design for one option. I mean, we're currently doing concept planning work, looking at the two options. So since
So we've already let a contract for planning to look at the two options.
Yes.
Okay, so we can't go and apply for a grant retroactively for that. That answers that question.
Right.
well, yeah. Is that done? Allison, you finished?
I think so.
Okay, thanks. Okay, David, Maureen, and then Sue.
Thank you, Patrick. I'm really pleased you're doing this, and you answered my question in the last answer to Allison. So to figure out which of the routes in terms of the next phase, that's work that we're doing right now. And then we'll, once we have that figured out, then we'll do this. So I'm very pleased you're moving forward. Thanks a lot. That's where I am. So.
Okay.
Not to jump the queue, but I just want to add on to this piece about the routing options. So we have been looking closely, and there's pros and cons to alternative routes. And so we know that the cons to sticking to the roadside is the challenge with the steep terrain and the sharp corners of the S-bend, and those costs can be pretty high. But we also know the challenge with the waterline route is that we then have to broker a deal with 5 private property owners on crossing their land with a 3-meter wide path, which may be seen positively, but may be seen negatively. And then there is a third alternative route that's been explored that would bypass those properties, go up and behind through the Camp Bowen properties. But that's really steep and presents terrain challenges. And so, you know, we want to still keep all the options on the table, but we're going to have to zero in on one. And this is a great funding opportunity to be able, once we zero in on one, to then be able to do that detailed costing to get us ready for the next capital grant. So that's the approach here.
When does the window close on this one? Sorry for interrupting there.
The deadline for the grant submission, you mean? Tomorrow.
Oh. Right on. So there is a little bit of urgency here. Okay, Maureen, over to you, and then Sue Ellen.
Yes, thank you. 3 things. One is to congratulate Patrick on pulling this together, because I know that deadline was super, super tight. And I'm really glad to see this on the council agenda. The second thing is, and it's related to the which route question, because hopefully this would be part of the Metro Vancouver Greenways system. We will be having, the Parks Committee will be having a Greenways workshop in early fall to discuss priorities, assuming that budget discussions for the Metro Board go positively. So that might be something to just keep in mind as a potential factor in making decisions over and above the sort of Bowen-based decisions. And then the third point is just, is there any advantage in upping that number to a round number, to upping it to grant option up to $40,000 to give you a wee bit of leeway, or does it not make any difference? What do you think, Patrick?
Yeah, I'd have to look at, yeah, we could increase it.
Yeah.
We can always increase it. I guess we were intending to attach the fee proposal.
Put in plus contingency.
We could add a contingency.
Yeah, I think you could easily add 10 to 20% for contingency. Yeah.
I'd be more comfortable if it was bounced up just a bit. And yeah, okay. 40K, that gives you your 10%.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I second Maureen's proposal to insert the words up to $40,000.
Okay. And Sue Ellen, over to you then. Anything else?
On the amendment?
No, just on the general, you had your hand up before.
Yep. Okay. I'm just wondering if that amendment is going by consent.
We haven't moved the motion, so we can.
Okay, then I'll move the motion.
Sorry, Councillor Fast. Sorry, just jumping in there. Patrick's provided a revised motion. I kind of threw that other one together just to get it on the agenda, but this one is more in line with the requirements of the application. So I can read it out if that works for everyone.
Can you put it on the screen at all? Hope it's easy to do or not?
Yeah, I can. Just give me 1 second. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
The council directs staff to apply for funding through the BC Active Transportation Infrastructure Network Planning Grant Program up to $40,000 to fund 50% of the cost for design of the next phase of the multi-use path from Artisan Lane to Grafton Lake, and that council confirmed that the municipal 50% share of funding for the design is available and supported, that the project is a municipal priority and is intended to be completed within the required timeline. The design is intended to be complete for March 2022.
Awesome.
Then
Yeah.
I'll move that. It has the amendment in it. That's perfect. And thank you. And I just want to speak to it. Well, I'll see if there's a second.
I'll second
Oh,
it.
okay, David, or whoever that was. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Okay,
you.
go ahead, Sue. Go
Oh,
ahead, Sue.
I just want to say I really support this motion. I think it's fabulous that we're staff is able to follow up so quickly. I was going to ask about the deadline. Is that tomorrow? And for the grant, and that we're applying for these funds that are available to support our community, and that we're following through in the plans to get things created on the ground that will lead to healthier community and climate action as we open the library, which we've for a cooling center, which we've never had to do before due to climate change. So I'm just delighted to have moved this motion, and I'm in support. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sue Ellen. Allison, are you still?
I just put my hand back up because Patrick added the funds were available for our 50%. Is this coming out of our strategic priorities fund or out of your operating budget, or where's the, or had you already budgeted for this kind of planning?
We have capacity within our capital budget to accommodate. There are some projects that haven't moved forward as we anticipated.
Okay.
So we do have room within our capital budget. It wouldn't be operations.
Okay, and it's not bouncing something else that you wanted to get done.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Michael?
Patrick, just for the sake of consistency, what works best for you when it comes to contingencies? If there is a number we're looking at generally for any project of this nature, would it be fair to us to assume that you put in a contingency and you've stated it, or that is the number, and therefore the contingency, depending on the project, would then be a matter of decision? Because at the moment we do it one of two ways, and just going forward, I actually don't mind which way we do it. Do we put in a number and you say, I've got a contingency in here of 10 or whatever, or this is the number and I feel the contingency should, depending on the project, between 5 and 20%, because we don't have a sort of standard form. I think it would be helpful if we did, and this would be a good example. So I really don't mind, so long as we continue to treat these projects in the same way regarding contingencies.
All right.
Yeah, I guess contingency depends on the stage of the project and, the level of confidence you have in the estimate. In this case, it was thrown together pretty quickly by a consultant who's on vacation. So it's probably better to.
So you're
You
saying
got your answer, Michael.
40% contingency.
Yeah. Or, well, Liam, it's adjusted 20%, and that seems like reasonable to include in this case.
Well, 20% takes
Yeah.
it above 40,000. So
And for planning purposes, generally you don't need as much contingency as you would for capital.
Yeah, that's true.
So 20 seems quite reasonable.
well, 20 takes it to 42,172. 10 takes it to 38,650.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's 40,000 halfway in between. So
I think the province, like, they'd be working with the percent ranges too, and if we put in 20%, they'd be comfortable seeing that. And so if it's
then it's
42,
42,000.
yeah.
Okay, we can
Okay.
change the motion to 40.
Change the 40 to 42.
Yeah.
Oh, you copy that?
Mhm.
Okay, good one.
That's a friendly
Thank-
amendment by consensus. Is that what that is?
Well, I believe so.
Good. Thank you.
Because you moved it, Sue Ellen, so you accept that? Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's a motion of council, and as long as we're all in agreement, that's great.
Absolutely. Okay, so any further discussion on this? See no hands, so I'll ask the question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you very much. And Patrick, just before you leave here, we are gonna go definitely beside the road though, from where we are now, right? From Artisan to up to Charlie's Lane. That's gonna be beside the road for sure or not?
No.
Not
You could
necessarily.
skip down, eh?
Well, if you were gonna go along Terminal Creek, you would go down Carter Road.
Oh, okay.
You still would want that path connection to Artisan Lane because it's a major destination.
Okay, absolutely. Oh, okay, so that's a little bit of a change. Would that still be part of the Spirit Trail? I guess not, eh? If
Yeah,
we did
no, I
happen
think
to
it
put
it
that,
would all be part of the Spirit Trail.
oh, that's great. Okay. All right, we'll move on. Thank you very much for that, Patrick. Appreciate that. And I'm gonna move on to 4.2, which is the late item. Hope, do you want to talk to that or there's not much to
I
it?
can just speak to the motion. I mean, it's, I'm not sure how,
Motion on the screen because I can't look at it and be on Zoom.
I can read it. It's a pretty straightforward motion that council authorize a letter to be sent under the mayor's signature supporting the Bowen Children's Center application to the province through the Canada British Columbia Early Learning and Child Care Agreement for Bowen Children's Center to be designated as a universal child care
Prototype site.
We missed that,
prototype site.
universal.
Universal child care prototype site.
Thank you.
For $10 a day daycare.
Child care.
Sorry, we lost Hope, eh?
Yeah.
And Williams, something's going on at Muni Hall and Bonny. Oh, there they are back.
It's freezing up a little bit, Hope. You're freezing off and on, so
William is too.
Am I okay now?
So the funding program was launched last week. Yeah, it says my internet connection is unstable. The funding program was launched last week and closes at the end of August, and it's to provide more prototypes or pilot projects of adopting this $10 a day daycare program.
Okay.
And there is one existing on Bowen, and they were approved as a prototype site in the first intake, and that was a few years ago at least. And from what I've heard, it's pretty wonderful, $10 a day.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice, eh? Especially for the people, it's a bit of a stretch for. Okay, Maureen first. I didn't see the order, but Maureen and then Sue Ellen.
Yeah, I'll be voting in support of this recommendation. I think that the Children's Center has been waiting for this good news for a while. And in conversation with Ann Silverman, she certainly was very pleased to see this come up. I just have one question about the written recommendation. It says Bowen Children's Centers. Sorry, this is a pedantic thing. And the apostrophes after centers. Are we
Center.
talking about one center or are we talking about multiple centers here?
It's
Well,
just the Bowen Children's Center. I deleted it. Yeah.
Okay.
That was a typo.
Yeah.
Instead spelled the American way too.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
No, it just center is spelled the American way.
I think it would apply to all three of their programs, though.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's the Bowen Children's Center
Center.
and it's
yeah.
umbrella.
I was rushing when typing this.
Okay, thank you.
Great job. Great job. Okay, so Sue Ellen.
Thank you. I'm delighted to see this as somebody whose child was in the what was then the participatory preschool program when it was down here at Collins Hall, and whose child helped carry some rocks and boards around when they were building the Children's Center. So I'm an alumni family, I guess, and I'd be delighted to move the motion unless other people want to discuss it further.
No, sure. Go ahead. Alumni.
Okay. I'd like to move the motion that Hope just read because I don't have it in front of me. Thank you.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay.
Any further discussion on this very worthwhile project? Sure, it'd be nice. Okay, I see no hands, so I'll ask a question. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Fabulous. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so we're going to move on to 4.3, which is move to a closed meeting. And the recommendation is the council move to a closed council immediately following the adjournment of its special council meeting to discuss items pursuant to section 90-1C. Or is that one or an L? I think it's an L. No, it's a 1C of the community charter. And I'll move that.
Second.
David, and all in favor? Aye. All right, and on that happy note, we're going to move to adjournment of the special council meeting.